Hello all. We might kick off. Thanks for joining us for this series of webinars for brand new users to Panorama. These will be sessions that will appeal to advisors and staff who might have recently had clients migrating across from BT Wrap and into Panorama. My name is David Giltrap. I'm part of the BT training and capability team. Pleasure to present the session for you today. These sessions will run over the next couple of weeks. We're planning to, where we'll have content constantly changing and content very much driven by the type of regular questions that are coming into our customer relations team. So your advisor call centre, and also to our BDM and business implementation managers around the country as well. The aim of today is really to equip you with the answers to these regular questions, and perhaps more importantly, providing you with all the help and support tools that will mean you won't need to call the contact centre, but instead you can skip the queue and answer it and even learn yourself about Panorama, which is probably the best way of doing it. We have half an hour for the session today, including time for questions, and the sessions will be recorded so you can rewatch them or refer to colleagues if you like. So let's have a quick look now at what we're going to cover today. And firstly, we'll look at all the smart ways that you can fast track your way to Panorama's help and support before getting into some of the regular questions that are coming into our advisor customer relations team. And some of these questions, because the process might be different to what you've been used to in BT Wrap. Those being things like how to amend client details, a bit about Centrelink schedules on Panorama, a bit of a hot topic in the call centre, and also linking bank accounts to Panorama accounts as well. And we'll finish with question time. And if you do have any questions, which we do invite certainly, please type them into the Q&A section during the session, and I'll attempt to answer these at the end of the session. If we're unable to answer any or get to some of the questions that come through, we will respond certainly after the session. So to the different ways that you can help yourself, I guess, in fast tracking your way to Panorama help and support, let's have a look at some of those. So we're going to have a look at the BT Academy Panorama training site, and then on to your Panorama Advisor site. We'll walk you through the tools very quickly that are there to assist you. So things like Take the Tour, Blue, Guide Me, Help and Support, and also the feedback option. So we'll cover all of these quite briefly. If you are new to Panorama, you certainly must save this URL as a favourite. You can see down the bottom of the screen, bt.com.au/BT Panorama Training. This will give you access to the BT Academy Panorama Advisor Training Portal, as well as recorded webinars that we'll come back to in a moment. So to either register for or later log into the portal, you use this link here. And then once registered, you will gain access to a full library of what are professionally produced video courses, and you can see some of them right here. Importantly, the very first course is a series of videos looking at how you did it on Wrap, and then comparing that to your new experience on Panorama. And then clicking into one of the courses, let's take monitoring and reporting as an example. It opens up to each of the smaller bite-sized videos in the course. And here you can see there's things like portfolio reporting, performance, asset allocation, transacting, etc. And the portal makes it very easy for you to track where you're up to with each course, and a completion certificate is available at the end when you've gone through each module of a course. This site will definitely be the best way for you to quickly become familiar with Panorama. If you're not already registered, I'd suggest you register as soon as you can, perhaps after this session, and really kickstart how to integrate into your business. Now, also on that bt.com.au page, that web page we looked at before, is a series of our recorded webinars. And here you can see and access on demand a full range of the learning sessions. So these were live webinars that we recorded, going from initial navigation right through all of the Panorama functionality that you'll find on the platform. Strongly suggest that you refer to these also as required. And then let's have a look at your Panorama Advisor site. What tools do you have to assist? Firstly, there's Take the Tour. And this is perfect for new users, just to familiarise yourself with the site, covering your general navigation, managing client accounts and business, and then also help and support. And as you work through the tour, little bubbles of information will pop up to assist in really familiarising yourself with the site if you are new to it. And now let's have a quick look at Blue. And you just select here for Blue. So this is Panorama's chatbot. You and your clients can communicate with us 24/7. So with Blue providing immediate responses to common queries wherever you are in Panorama. So Blue can help you navigate Panorama's features and functionality, explain what steps you need to take to complete an end-to-end process, such as an example, how to set up a regular investment plan, it might be. So depending on the question that you type in, Blue can take you to the page you require if you select Go to Page, or it can offer you, show you how to guide you. So you can guide me or show me option. Now, if required, you can also type in Speak to a Person, and Blue will connect you to our Panorama support team through Click to Chat. So that, in the most case, your query can be answered in one quick session. And this is a really great way to skip the queue that you might find yourself in if you're simply just calling up the contact centre. So really do keep Blue in mind there. Now, Blue can provide, I mentioned, the option to show you how to do a certain process via the Guide Me, as you can see here. And these automatically will be placed around the site also. As you navigate around, you'll find these little purple logos, and you can use those as required if you're looking at that functionality for the first time. So clicking on Guide Me, that will provide you with a step-by-step that you can see here to quickly show you what the process is. And one step at a time, these Guide Me tools will be progressively added to your Panorama Advisor site over time, assisting with more and more functionality. And then I think help and support, perhaps a little bit hidden, but this little question mark opens up what is a wealth of Panorama guidance and support tools for you. So if you click on the little question mark, that will open up a brand new window. And as you can see in here, this is the center of the help and support is a search box for you to enter essentially what you're after. And while Panorama is mainly paperless and online digital processing, there are forms for some processes, and these can be found here. This is where you'll find all of the forms and information. There's also logically laid out branch structure for you to locate the information that you do require, as you can see in front of you. And underlying articles, very well laid out, easy to read format, many with clickable blue text links through to further information. So do encourage you to familiarise yourself with help and support. It will be a valuable tool for you to refer back to on a regular basis. And then finally, before we get into some of the specific feedback and questions we've been getting, there's also the feedback button that you have here. Click on this and you have the opportunity to let us know what you think. So how can we improve Panorama? With the development team always looking at continuous improvement to Panorama, let us know what you think, and you can help guide the continual evolution of the Panorama product. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the common questions that are coming through right now to the Advisor call centre, perhaps as a result of newly migrated accounts and advisors that are quite new in their support staff to Panorama. Let's have a look at a few of those now before we have a look at open it up to specific questions. And again, if you can type any questions into your Q&A, we will with any of those, deal with those as they come through. A little different process to wrap to update client details in their account. You'd go to the account details page that we're in now in Panorama, and you can actually, to update their details, you'd select their name. which could also be an entity name, which you may need to update details for, and that's that blue hyperlink. So we'll click on that. Now, the client information indicated by a pencil will be editable. So you can click on the pencil. There's a couple of question marks explaining some alternatives for certain information, client information that may not be able to be updated online. Certainly one of those in particular for client contact details is their primary email address and mobile number. So this is important. For these, if these need to be updated for your client can only call the Panorama Customer Contact Centre to amend these details. And you'll be guided to these sort of things with the question marks and things that you can update yourself as an advisor. And again, I just reiterate my earlier point, that may differ to your practice and process you had with RAP in the past. And now to Centrelink Schedules, and this is a different process to RAP again, where you could order Centrelink Schedules online. We've been getting a large number of advisors and their support staff calling the contact centre to request a new Centrelink schedule, perhaps following migration. And in most cases, this will generally not be necessary. BT has actually informed Services Australia, of which Centrelink and DVA is part of the migration of RAP to Panorama. So they are already aware that the client accounts are moving. It's not a trigger point for a new Centrelink schedule to be produced. However, some advisors think it is, and they're calling the contact centre. Now, with Panorama, annual Centrelink schedules are produced as part of the annual review process for a pension account, and they'll be dropped into the document library in July. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. During the year, an advisor can also make a change to pension details online, and this would also be a trigger point for a new Centrelink schedule to be produced and placed into the document library for the client. Other than that, if you require an updated Centrelink schedule mid-year, for example, at a point in time, there's been no change to the pension details, there's no opportunity for you to request that online with Panorama, but you do need to call the contact centre to request one. So, and as I said, we do have a lot of advisors thinking they need to perhaps order one right now following migration, calling the contact centre. We do have a period of about a week before we can actually produce these. So I'm guessing two things. We ask, firstly, for your patience. If you do need one, we will not be in a position to produce these for about another week. And then, as I mentioned earlier, as Services Australia have been informed of the migration, it's very likely that you perhaps don't need a new Centrelink schedule for your client. But that's just a little bit of information to help about Centrelink schedules, as they have been a bit of a hot topic with calls coming into our advisor contact centre. This is what you'll actually see in the document library. So document library found down the left-hand side there. And then included in the range of documents that you will find in here, the document library, of course, can be have documents uploaded by ourselves, Panorama, but also advisors, clients, and also accountants if you're collaborating with accountants on SMSFs as an example. But just talking about Centrelink schedules, you can see there you've got the annual Centrelink schedule, or it could also be another Centrelink schedule specifically requested from the call centre as a result of an advisor change or as a result of an advisor change to pension details. So hopefully that helps with Centrelink schedules. Linking bank accounts, we're also getting a lot of calls coming in. What's the difference with linked bank accounts and the process with RAP to Panorama? We can have a look at that now. I guess the first thing that I'd highlight is with Panorama, there's actually 5 linked bank accounts. So this is different to RAP. So both your super, pension and investment accounts can have up to 5 linked bank accounts that allow funds to go both ways to and from Panorama. For investment accounts, you also have the added advantage of an unlimited amount of BPay billers and pay anyone bank accounts as well. So that's for Panorama investments accounts. Let's have a look at what that looks like online. So you can see here we're in the payments and deposits and the accounts and billers section of a Panorama investments account, and we can see here what accounts the client has as linked accounts, pay anyone accounts, and B, pay billers. Now, the question from many advisors is how to advise, how can we update bank accounts for the client? So two answers there. Firstly, one is that the client can do it themselves on their own login. I'll show you that in a moment. Now, however, for Panorama Investments accounts, you'll see that there's, for an advisor, the opportunity here to add a linked, add an account. So add a linked bank account, add a pay anyone account, or a B pay biller. If you click on that, the advisor can then enter the details here, click on continue, and go through the process of requesting their client digitally approve or digital consent with Panorama. That will be the process for them to approve it. Alternatively, if the client was to do it themselves, so this is looking at one of your clients' screen, they would go into their accounts and billers section. And again, very similar sort of setup, just designed a little bit differently, but the client would click on add linked account or add account, add pay anyone account in this case that we're going to do as an example. That bring up this pop-up for the client. They just put in their details, which we've entered now, and then they would click on get SMS code. So this is the security process here that would send them an SMS code to their mobile phone. And they'd enter the details here and then click on save, and the linked account has been added. The further thing that I would add there as well is we're also getting questions about linked bank account verification. So with up to 5 linked bank accounts that could have funds flowing either to or from, there is cases where you're making a deposit from the linked bank account into Panorama. The account must firstly be verified, and this does require a 1 cent to go into the client's linked bank account, which will have a security code that the client will go and on Panorama enter in to verify that it's their bank account. This is all about security and fraud prevention, and it's only a process that's required if your client is going to be making deposits via direct debit into Panorama. If the client only has a linked bank account to receive funds, then there is no requirement to verify that bank account. So that's something that's often misunderstood, but important to highlight that and call that out. Okay, they were the main things that we were going to go through. Just having a look at any questions. Happy to take questions in the Q&A if anyone has any. I know there was a question that came up about other topics. Like I said, we will be updating the topics as we go through. So what are the common questions that are coming into the call centre that advisors are wanting answers to? We'll also be giving information about functionality that has not been available on WRAP that is available on Panorama as well. So things like the cash investment sweep, if you like, the cash investment strategy, and other functionality that you won't have had access to with WRAP. Okay, if there's no further questions, I think in closing up the session, definitely next steps will be to continue to speak to BT and your local BT contact there. Definitely register for the BT Academy Panorama training portal. Have a look at the webinars, both recorded and upcoming ones that we have as well. And also make sure you do utilise your tools that you have there in things like Blue, Guide Me, and Help and Support, which will provide all the answers that you need. Okay, thanks very much everyone for your attendance for this session. Hope you found it valuable, and we look forward to speaking with you again and helping you on your migration from BT WRAP into Panorama. Thanks all. Bye-bye.